like to discuss my experience with warning dreams, and I have proof that they are real, and you are supposed to pray an intercession against whatever the warning is. But first, I'd like to share John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. There's a powerful, beautiful promise. Okay, so last week, a couple days in advance, I had a warning dream, and it was about COVID-19, and it was represented by these two people that were chasing me in my grandma's house. And I ran up the stairs. The man was faster than the woman, and I shot something in defense, and now I understand it was prayer. The prayer wounded the faster man, but the woman was still chasing me, so I was still running, and I made it just to the bedroom door at the top of the stairs, and I slammed the door shut and I locked it, and the woman was right at the door. I narrowly escaped her, and sure enough, a couple days later, I had an encounter with COVID-19 at my grandmother's house, and my grandmother did catch it, sadly, but I didn't know it at the time. When I was watching her, I was filling in and visiting with her for my uncle. It was his birthday, and I only was with her for about 2 hours until someone else came. She ended up testing positive about a day later or so, and so did several people that came in contact with her over the weekend, including my uncle that watched her before I did. So, it's just, I have not caught COVID-19 yet. We're in 2022, and our household has not caught it yet. And, I'm just going to claim Psalm 91, that no disease will come near our tent, and the enemy is stalking and has a target on my back and wants to wreak havoc in any way, but we keep escaping it. Then I had another warning dream that I was in a tent, and I was looking out of the tent and I saw a coyote, and it was a big coyote. It almost looked like a wolf, and that represented a demonic attack, and it was like stalking us. But I was in the tent and I was safe. And that scripture, again, of Psalm 91, that mentions no disease will come near my tent. So not only did we have a narrow escape from catching COVID-19, but I had a narrow escape from catching influenza A. We came in contact with a family that had it, and as soon as they got home, they ended up popping a fever, and fortunately we haven't gotten it, and it's supposedly a really bad flu this year. A family member of mine mentioned that they felt the flu this year was worse than their experience with COVID-19. I've never had the flu before. And then another confirmation was during this prayer group that I'm a part of, or it's a healing prayer class, and we did a breakout Zoom group, and one of the ladies was speaking a word of wisdom, and she mentioned target. And I knew that this meant that the enemy has a target on my back, and it was a bigger target on my back because I was filling in for Sunday school for my father while he was away fixing his rental home in Florida after the hurricane damage. And all is well with that. And then we had a drive-through prayer yesterday, which was incredible, awesome, amazing. It's their second ever drive-through prayer, and 3 local churches have come together and united to create this service that the community that's driving by can pull in to the parking lot at one of our churches and receive prayer. And it was definitely worth it, because we prayed for several members of the community and even passerbys, people driving by from other counties. And people are going through such hard times. It is so sad. One lady was in tears, and my heart goes out to her, and I'm going to continue to pray for her. She has a hard situation, and I'll just leave it at that. And please pray for her anonymously as well, if you can, in her situation. And it's okay. God knows her name, and God knows her situation. And I also appreciate prayer for myself, and thank you for everyone that does pray for me and my family in intercession. I greatly appreciate that, and I also pray for all of my subscribers and listeners every single day. And again, I don't know your name or your situation, but I still send a prayer out there for you. Well, I just wanted to share my experience with several warning dreams, and that the enemy has really tried harder this past week to get me or wreak havoc with plans. Because if I had caught COVID-19, or if I had caught the flu, it would have ruined Sunday school, and it would have ruined the drive-through prayer experience. And I'm just so glad that I was a part of that. God bless, and keep praying and putting that full armor of God on and reading the Word. It's your sword, your only defensive weapon in all prayer. And I'm mistaken a little bit. The warning dream, the first one was the week of October 6th. And there were 3 warning dreams at various times, but it was several days in advance. And we still had Sunday school, because at that time we didn't know that my grandmother was positive. We found out either later that day or early the next day. I can't remember at this point. But I took a test and I'm negative. And in the past, sometime over the summer, I had a pretty bad cold, and I took an antibody test, and that too was negative. The importance of the Sunday school was that It was the very last class. It was a DVD on Dr. David Jeremiah, on the full armor of God, on all prayer. And literally, I experienced that all prayer protected myself and my little family from this viral attack.